Hello gentle beings and welcome to Cation Star Drives. I'm your host Mick and today we're here at the Utopia Planitia Fleet Yards. We're here to discuss some of the things you can do to have a successful time when doing Tour of the Galaxy. We'll have a look at the equipment, the ships, the trait and the route that can allow you to maximise your return of investment and effort. So one of the questions I hear is, what is Tour of the Galaxy? The tour is a mission you can pick up which tells you to visit X number of systems in 15 minutes. Each system you visit will give you a small XP reward as well as 25,000 energy credits. After a certain number of systems have been visited, you get a further bonus of credits, so by just doing the Beta Quadrant alone you're looking at 625,000 energy credits per run. Now obviously the better the ship build the faster you get around, but for the purposes of this video I'll just concentrate on the Beta Quadrant. However, if you do manage to complete the Alpha Quadrant as well, that total will go up to 925,000 energy credits. First up, we'll take a look at the ships used and why we choose them. Usually we use one of four ships: the Vesta class, the Odyssey, the Ryzen Luxury Cruiser and the Dauntless Experimental Science Vehicle. Both the Odyssey and the Ryzen ship have built-in extended slipstream drive as well as the Dauntless, and so just by using some of the other items in this video will give an added benefit. However, the ship I and a lot of others use is the T5 Vesta class. Now this can be a big outlay for any captain, but one in my view that is worth the time and effort. Not only because it's a very good ship for the tour, but you can still make some excellent science builds where you don't have to sacrifice auxiliary power for weapon power, as these ships come with phase dual heavy cannons that actually operate off of the auxiliary power. When it comes to the tour, the Vesta class can fit any two of the three native consoles that will give you captains access to the Chroniton integrated quantum slipstream, which is basically a fancy way of saying make it go fast, and has a very fast recharge time of 1 minute, meaning that you can maximise the time that you can use the slipstream for. Next up we have the Obelisk Warp Core. This is a mission reward from the episode Sphere of Influence. It has its own 50% slipstream recharge time reduction, which is very useful if you are not using the Vesta class, and also has a plus 20% turn rate while the ship is in slipstream, something that will become clear later. We now move on to the assimilated sub-transwarp engine from the Omega reputation. For the small price of 900 Omega marks, 3 Borg Neuro processors, 32,500 dilithium and lastly 40,000 energy credits. The main reason for this piece is that even though stat wise there are better impulse engines out there, it is still one of the fastest when it comes to sector speed. If you are an Alliance captain from the KDF watching this, you will need to look at the Klingon Honor Guard equipment list for the alternative. The last piece of equipment we can fit to our ships is the Polaric Modulator. This console fits an engineering slot and is a mission reward from the Delta Flight mission in the Iconian story arc. At Mark 12 the console will give a plus 20% turn rate while in slipstream on top of the bonus from the warp core and bonus from the trait I'll cover in a minute. Now it is my understanding that these bonuses are cumulative, so for example if we have a base turn rate in slipstream of 100, then just adding the warp core increases the rate to 120. Adding the console further increases it to 144. So you can see it's worth seeking out some of the equipment, even if on a mission playthrough it may seem a bit meh to begin with, and the other mission rewards may fit in more with your immediate wants and objectives. Now I've told you about the equipment, let's go on to the trait I mentioned. That is the space trait Leadfoot. This trait gives an additional 25% turn rate and 10% sector space speed. So you can see it is worth the eye-watering price of 7.5 million energy credits it was at the time of recording this transmission. Alternatively, it is available from the Vadwa and Infinity lockboxes you may encounter on your travels. Now we have seen the equipment, we should take a look at the other most important factor to a successful mission, and that is the best route to take. You can of course be free to experiment and find a course that suits you, but the course I am about to show you I have found to be more than good enough to get around the Beta Quadrant in good time, with more than enough to visit a few in the Alpha Quadrant as well. This route starts at the Nimbus system. You do not want to be right on top of the system when the mission starts, as you will have to reverse up and then go forward again to activate the mission marker. something that will cost you time. After Nimbus, we will go to the following route. We go to Larisse, onto Alani, onto Vaughan, onto Iconia, to the Gamma Eridon, onto Theban, onwards to the Senex system. From Sanak, we go diagonally up to Kronos, up to Kittima, around and down to Arcanus, onto Drozana Station, and then Trallius. After Trallius, a sharp upswing to Risa and onto Orion, and then up to Vendor and swing across to Mylassa. After Mylassa, we visit New Romulus before heading to Virinat, where we do the last leg to Argalis and finish the beta quadrant at Taneba. As you'll see from the following footage, there will be time where you will need to either end the slipstream early or throttle back in order to achieve a fast turn without going wildly off course. So here we are now in sector space, and I thought I'd actually show you the parts being fitted to the ship to see how it can make a difference. If we go to my ship, the USS Puma, you can see I've had a loadout in here already. Basically, I've already got the impulse drive and the warp core fitted. I've fitted one of the science consoles, which basically gives you a bog standard basic quantum slipstream drive. If I now add another of the Vesta consoles, you can see it's now gone to the Chronoton integrated quantum slipstream. I don't have the polaric modulator on this ship, but we'll still do a tour of the galaxy and we'll see how we go. So if we go to the available missions, we can scroll down and here we go, tour of the galaxy. And off we go. Nimbus, Larisse, well, here I'll just quickly resize my map to make it a bit more readable. Now, as you'll see, I'll actually use the map to do a lot of the navigating. When we come up to a star though, you'll see I'll try to go over the top of it, because that will then actually activate the marker, but it won't stop the ship and slow us down. And there you can actually see the turn-in difference of having the equipment fitted. And there's my trait Leadfoot. And here, as we can see, we have a cooldown of just a minute rather than the 2-minute cooldown. And here you can see where I've throttled back to halfway while in normal sector speed. It allows you to do a tighter turn and on to the next. In this case it'll be the Gamma Eridon system. Once again, now we're on course. Back on slipstream drive. Onto the Sanek system. And this will be the next point where I tried to raise earlier, where ending the slipstream drive early actually helps us out, because as you can see we've still got quite a bit to do here, but once we're in the circle, stop it. Just a little bit of normal sector speed allows us to do a tight turn and up to Kronos. Now, because Kittimer is actually quite a big system, what I do is I wait until I'm actually at the spot, and as you can see the stars appear here, go right down. I just go up to one bar, wait until the sun goes out of a screenshot, then swing around, and that helps me avoid getting caught up on any of the scenery. And back on the slipstream drive. And this leg on one single charge will allow us to do Arcanus, Drozana Station and Tralius. Once again, skip over the top. That's where the slipstream turn rate comes in. And also navigate. And finish early. There's the bonus. Rather than 25, you get 125. And back on course. We'll allow that to recharge. Up to Orion. Don't hit that too early. And onto the Vendor system. Wait till we straighten out. Bang. I did miss that turn up, because really you should be able to, without slowing down, do that tight turn with the slipstream still going, but it shouldn't affect us too much. Now, because we've got another tight turn here, I'll be ending it early again. 1 bar, swing round sharp, onto New Romulus. So basically it'll be the final leg, this bit being with the slipstream drive. New Romulus. Onto Vironat. Sharp turn, point to Argalis, hit slipstream drive again, then on to Taneba, where we'll finish up for the purposes of this video. And there we are, with 5 minutes 25, 5 minutes 20 to spare. One other thing that I did realise when I was making this video was that also in your skill section, when you're actually allocating your points, down here on your science tree you have to put in at least 5 points in the science, but you need to choose the sector space travel speed, which will include your baseline speed up 25%. You'll be surprised at how big a difference that actually makes on its own. So even if you get none of the other bits of equipment for normal sector space speed, that is one that you want to get your hands on. As you could see from the previous footage, with a limit of 15 minutes I was still able to get around with between 3 to 5 minutes to spare. Now finishing at Taneba, we have 3 choices with minimal travelling required. We can carry on to the Alpha Quadrant and try to visit more systems and get more rewards. We can drop the mission and head back to Nimbus ready for another tour after the cooldown is finished, or drop the mission and head to Earth Space Dock to either bank or spend the newly acquired energy credits. Dropping the mission at any time will not lose you any credits that you have already earned. So there you are. I hope this transmission has been of use, and if you have any queries or comments, please drop them below. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you again soon.